Hey guys, welcome back. I'm starting a tutorial series on beginner Python topics to help you get started with Python. This is the first video in a series of many videos. Make sure to subscribe to get all the other videos. So, in order to get started, we first have to download Python onto our computer. So, go to python.org and the link's going to be in the description below. Once you're there, press the download button for whichever OS you have. So click download. Once that's done, open up your downloads, double click on it, and then install Python. It's going to ask you for terms and conditions. Agree with that, and then it's going to ask you a bunch of questions, so just press agree and continue on all of that. Once you're done with that, we can now close out of this tab and move on. We're going to need a text editor to write the code. A text editor is basically an environment where you can write your code in. You can write Python in any editor, but there are different types of editors. Some editors only allow you to write code in a few languages, while others will allow you to write in many languages. VS Code allows you to write in a lot of languages. VS Code is an IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment, and that means you can write code in VS Code and the computer's going to understand it. I know many people use PyCharm, but I prefer VS Code because you can write in so many different languages, and the link to VS Code is also in the description below. So, press the download button for whichever OS you have. So, press download on this button, and once it's done downloading, double click on it and it's going to open up an installer. So once it's done downloading, double click on it and it's going to open up an installer. The installer is going to install VS Code onto your computer, and then we can start writing code. Now we have everything set up, and let's get coding. When you open up VS Code, it's going to look something like this. VS Code has a lot of different things that you can do. You can learn things about VS Code, how to use it, and you can customize and download stuff to help you with your coding. But for our purposes, we're going to press this button, New File. You can notice that it says Untitled 1. You can't run Python code in a file that doesn't end with a .py. So press File, Save As. So then let's change this to Hello World, and we have to save it as a Python file. Let's scroll down and we see Python and we press that. And then once it's saved as a Python file, it's automatically going to append the .py to the end of the file name. Let's press save. And now you can see that our file is called helloworld.py. So let's write hello world. Print. And VS Code also has this cool thing where it finishes your code lines for you. So print, put double quotes, hello world, and now let's run it, and it says hello world. Congratulations, you just wrote your first program. So let's make your first program a little more interesting. Let's try doing something that's gonna take input from the terminal window and print hello plus whatever the input is. So first, let's start off with a variable. A variable is basically a box that stores a value. So let's make a variable. Let's call this variable name. Name gets input what is your name? Let's run this first and then I'll explain to you what this does. So it's asking us what our name is. My name is Harry Potter. So when we press enter, it just says hello world because we haven't done anything yet. And this variable gets whatever the user inputs when prompted this. VS Code has this cool feature where if you hover over it, it tells you what it does. So basically what this is saying is that, so the VS Code has this cool feature what something does if you just hover over it. And basically what it's saying is that the input function, it prompts this question in the terminal. And whatever value the user returns, that gets stored in this variable name. And like I said before, a variable is a box where a value is stored. So now let's test this out. Print name. Alright, so you might be wondering why we're not putting it in quotation marks. So let's see what would happen if we put it in quotation marks. Let's run this. It's asking us for a name. My name is Harry Potter. See, look. So the first print statement prints the value that is stored in the variable, the value that's stored in the box. Quotation marks prints out whatever's in the quotation marks. So let's try this now. Let's remove this and do print hello plus name. So what this is doing is it's printing hello plus whatever value is stored in name. Let's try it out. What is your name? My name is Harry Potter. And it says, hello, Harry Potter. Isn't that cool? Thanks for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. Hit subscribe and hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.